The fact is, there was...
And I should have thought of it last year. I will be 71 this month. So, am I required to take out anything from this retirement?
Yeah, were you, so if you were born between July 1st of 49 and December 31st of 50, 1950, then you begin at 72. If you were between January 1st, 1951 and 1959, then you begin at 73. And your start date is April 1st of the year following the year you reach the required age. So hopefully that gives you the information you need. Back with more questions after this with Mark Biller. Stay with us. Faith and Finance is underwritten by certified Kingdom advisor Kevin Bruce with Align Investment Research, helping families across Collin County honor God by stewarding wealth with wisdom and purpose. Because true peace of mind comes from aligning wealth with God's design. Learn more at align7.com or call 972-972-8465. 972-972-8465. Align is a registered investment advisor.
Weekday mornings at 8 Central, Pastor Jeff Shreve offers real truth for today.
I'm the pastor of First Baptist Church in Texarkana, Texas, and the founder of From His Heart Ministries.
The world around us is rapidly changing, but God and His truth will never change.
I may be the host of the show, but I want God's Word and His truth to be the star of the show.
Join Pastor Jeff Shreve each weekday morning at 8 Central for Real Truth for Today on American Family Radio.
Feeling burdened by credit card debt? As faithful stewards, we are called to manage our finances wisely. Christian credit counselors can help with a debt management program that allows you to pay off debt up to 80% faster, while honoring your commitments with integrity. Don't let debt hold you back from the life God has planned for you. Take the first step toward peace and financial freedom today. Visit ChristianCreditCounselors.org. That's ChristianCreditCounselors.org.
We work, we earn, we save. But is that all there is? The book of Ecclesiastes gives us an entirely new perspective on money that impacts our day-to-day lives. Faith-Fi study, Wisdom Over Wealth, unpacks life-changing biblical truths about wealth, work, and contentment. This resource will help you grow in how you handle wealth by deepening your trust in God. Request your copy of the Wisdom Over Wealth study with your gift of $35 or more by going to faithfi.com/give.
I'm thoroughly looking forward to our Weekend with AFA coming up in October, where we're going to be able to meet our supporters like yourself, to fellowship, to visit our facilities here in Tupelo, and to have everyone come together for a wonderful weekend.
It's a Weekend with AFA, Thursday, October 2nd through Saturday, October 4th in Tupelo, Mississippi. Speakers will include Abraham Hamilton III, Jenna Ellis, Tim Barton, Tim Wildman, and more. Register at afa.net/weekend.
Faith and Finance is grateful for support from Sound Mind Investing. For more than 30 years, they've offered financial wisdom for living well. SMI provides step-by-step guidance for do-it-yourself investors, from those just getting started to those getting ready for retirement. More information, including the short video webinar on profit and peace of mind, no matter what's happening in the market, is available at soundmindinvesting.org.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
So glad to have you with us today on Faith and Finance here on American Family Radio. Our goal to help you see God as your ultimate treasure and manage money as a tool to accomplish His purposes. Today we're talking about retirement, specifically for those feeling ill-prepared for this fourth quarter of life, why delaying retirement could make all the difference. We're also taking your calls and questions on retirement and investing related questions while Mark Biller is here today. Mark is our good friend. He's executive editor at Sound Mind Investing. He's an investing expert and weighs in regularly on the broadcast. Let's head right back to the phones. Donna, you've been waiting patiently there in Texas. Go ahead. Hi, Donna. Are you with us?
Hi.
Hi there.
Yes, sorry. I took you off of
no problem.
the speakerphone. Sorry.
How can we serve you today?
Thank you for taking my call. Yes, my granddaughter, Alexis, she's 25, and she's been offered a position with an engineering company that is an ESOP, employee stock option program that's, they say they're employee owned. Is that a wise investment for her future to go with them? They also offer a 401k, but it's optional for her.
Okay, yeah, Mark, your thoughts?
Yeah, so, the ESOP is probably going to have certain terms that go along with it, and so it's hard to talk generally, or at least to say whether it is or isn't a great option. Generally speaking, an ESOP is a benefit to an employee, and so being a benefit, generally those are attractive. Now, the specifics can certainly vary depending on the person's situation. So, with a 401k available, we always ask about what kind of match do they have and that sort of thing. I would say that the first priority for a really young person, you said I think she was 25 years old, probably doesn't have a lot of savings at this point, may need to be building up an emergency savings reserve at the same time that they're starting to engage with these employer-related plans. The way I would look at it, Donna, I would look at the 401k first, look at the matching. I would want to get the full match on the 401k because that's guaranteed money. Now, of course, it's certainly not going to hurt to look at the terms of the ESOP plan as well. And if those are attractive terms, then I would not have any problem, putting some money into that plan alongside the more guaranteed 401k match. And of course, again, the terms of that ESOP, it could be that money is all but guaranteed too. It's just hard to know without knowing the specifics of that plan. But generally speaking, that's an added benefit. So it's, even if she doesn't take advantage of it right away, that's generally a nice thing to have at least available as an option. Rob, your thoughts?
Yeah, I totally agree. The only downside is her savings is tied in that ESOP to one company's success, which can add some risk if it struggles, and shares are often locked in until she leaves. So I think, to Mark's point, that's why the vast majority of these firms also provide the 401k. That's where I'd start, get the benefit of that matching if there is any. And then she should understand, just as a part of evaluating the company, the vesting schedule and any other benefits as she's making this decision. But at the end of the day, it's a great perk, and it can give your daughter free company stock for retirement, which is not a bad thing.
Okay. Well, it indicated that the first year you're 20% invested, then it raises each year up to 5 years to where you've been vested, and their 401k is a 5% match.
Okay, yeah, so that's a huge benefit. She needs to take full advantage of that first, and then I think the ESOP is a benefit on top of that. So it sounds like, at least from this part of evaluating the merits of this offer, this is a good one. And it sounds like they have a rich benefit package. Donna, thanks for your call today. Let's go to Went in Louisiana. Go right ahead.
Hey, Rob and Mark. How are y'all?
Hi, doing great. Thanks for your call today.
Yeah, thank y'all for taking me. Thank y'all so much for hosting this program. I'm in my mid-30s and newly learning about investing in finance. That's been really helpful.
Awesome. Glad to hear.
I have two questions if y'all have time. The first one, I have a couple 401s from different employers that I started with, and I was wondering if it's better to consolidate into one. I was thinking, because one of them is with Edward Jones, and I've already matched physical values with them. I was thinking to consolidate with them. What do y'all think? That'd be a good move? And then
go ahead with the second part of that as well.
And then the second question, I was thinking of opening a Roth, and I started looking at different companies, but do y'all have a recommendation for a company to open with that matches in physical values?
Excellent. Mark, your thoughts on consolidating these as well as opening that Roth IRA?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you heard the conversation with Jackie a little bit earlier, but the main advantages of consolidating the 401ks would be the convenience of having them all in one place and the ability to invest those exactly the way you want if you're not able to do that in the current 401k plan location. And it sounds like you have a situation at Edward Jones where you're able to invest according to the biblical values, and maybe your other 401k you're not able to do that. So that would be a reason to potentially roll that 401k into the existing IRA or a new IRA if that needs to be the case. As far as the Roth IRA, you could opt to consolidate again with wherever you're moving the 401k money to also have the Roth IRA there. They wouldn't be to the same accounts, but you would at least be only dealing with one institution that way. That may be attractive. I'll tell you what we tell our SMI readers when we have a number of different brokerages that our clients work with, all the ones you've heard of, Fidelity, Schwab, and so forth. And most of those will give you a wide variety of investing options. And so if you have a particular fund, say a particular biblically responsible investing fund or ETF that you like, you would be able to purchase that through any of these discount brokers. Fidelity and Schwab are the two big ones. They have a lot of great services for individuals. A lot of our clients use them, but there are a number of other good choices as well. So you've got a lot of options there. Rob helped make sense of all that information I just threw out.
No, I think that's exactly right. I think, you could see a benefit from consolidating, especially if these are small accounts. Getting them in one place might open up some other options. As you said, you can get to a company that better aligns with your values and have even access to faith-based investment options. In terms of that Roth, you could go to a Fidelity or a Schwab and, have plenty of options in terms of, investments that align with your values. So I think you're in great shape there. Let's do this, Went. You sound like you're somebody who wants to learn and you're trying to get into this whole area of investing. We're going to send you a copy of the Sound Mind Investing Handbook as our gift to you. And stay on the line. We'll get your information. I think that'll be a blessing to you as you just start to learn God's way of investing and also some real practical information. Thanks for your call today. Back with more questions after this. Bill, Betty, Tim, coming your way. Stay with us.
Faith and Finance is underwritten by certified Kingdom advisor Kevin Bruce with Align Investment Research, helping families across Collin County honor God by stewarding wealth with wisdom and purpose. Because true peace of mind comes from aligning wealth with God's design. Learn more at align7.com or call 972-972-8465. 972-972-8465. Align is a registered investment advisor.
With it, you can quickly access AFR programming live.
I'm Todd Herman. Welcome to A Disciple's View.
A majority of Americans actually want to live in reality.
As well as podcasts of all your favorite shows.
Hi, this is Sandy Rios, and you're listening to Sandy Rios 24/7.
AFR on Roku is another way to stay informed, equipped, and motivated as we join together to restore godly values in our nation. AFR on Roku. Add it today.
We're grateful for support from Guidestone, whose diversified suite of investment solutions align with Christian values to create positive change in the world. More information is available at guidestonefunds.com/faith. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. Carefully consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of Guidestone Funds before investing. They're distributed by Foresight Funds Distributors, LLC, which is not an advisory affiliate, a registered investment advisor, nor do they provide investment advice.
Jesus said, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Today, put your heart into something that makes an eternal impact. Heart for Lebanon is sharing the gospel and protecting girls from early marriage, child labor, and violence. Your gift of $114 helps reach 3 at-risk girls with hope and a brighter future. Give generously. Text FAITH to 98656. That's FAITH to 98656. Or visit faithfi.com/Lebanon.
Great to have you with us today on Faith and Finance here on American Family Radio. Mark Miller here today. We're talking about retirement. We started today by talking about why delaying retirement could make all the difference, especially if you feel like you're a bit behind. If you want to dig deeper into this topic, head to soundmindinvesting.org. Click on the article, Retirement Preparedness, What a Difference a Little Time Can Make. Mark is taking your questions today. We'll get to as many as we can in this final segment here today. Let's go out to Oklahoma. Welcome, Bill. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
My question is, I'm 67 and I draw full retirement, and my wife is 62 and she draws Social Security disability. But even at that, her disability is about a third of what I draw. And I know that she'll be eligible to draw half of mine, but does she have to wait until she's 67 to draw half of that? Or since she's disabled, I didn't know if that would make a difference on that. And thank you very much.
Yeah, Mark, thoughts on that?
You know, I do not know the answer to that. Those questions get very specific, Bill, and I don't want to give you the wrong answer. So, unless Rob, if you know,
let me weigh in on that. I totally agree, Mark. It does get complicated, and Bill, I will say the best option is always to make an appointment and use your own record to get the details. But your wife can draw Social Security spousal benefits based on your record now, assuming you've gone first. You have to walk through that door first. And if you're already receiving those benefits, she could take them. Now she's going to get a reduction because she's, so instead of the max 50%, it's going to be lower than that, probably as low as 32% of your benefit or maybe less. If she, anytime you take benefits before full retirement age, that's a permanent reduction. And so I think it's about 32.5% compared to the 50%. Now, the Social Security Administration will pay her the higher of her own disability benefit or the spousal benefit, but not both combined. So if her disability benefit is higher, she will continue to receive that amount. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah, that's what her disability amount is, like I say, it's about a third of what mine is right now. And I knew, normally, exactly, I looked into it. I mean, you can read that up on there. But I didn't know the fact if you're disabled, she draws 100% on hers of what she would have eaten, and still at that, it's still like, a third of mine. So I didn't know if the disability would up hers drawing off mine also. But it sounds like you're saying it would. So anyway, I appreciate it very much, sir.
You are welcome. Yeah, I would say that there are some differences related to disability impact, but I'm not aware of where that would automatically increase it. I think she would still be looking at the same benefit for taking it early. The question would just be which benefit is higher. But again, I would recommend you get that appointment set with Social Security and walk through that just to be sure. Bill, we appreciate your call today. Thanks for being on the program. Let's go to Oregon. Hi, Betty. How can we help?
Good morning. Thank you so much for taking my call. My situation is this: I'm 70, well, a little more than 70 and a half, and required minimum distribution start at 73. I've been doing the qualified giving now. I was eligible at 70 and a half, but I'm going to have a big tax hit because the majority of my investments is in traditional IRA. I do have a Roth, but like I said, the bulk of it is in traditional, which I have to draw at 73. So is there a way to lessen the tax bite on that, other than converting to Roth, which I already did a portion, and that was a huge tax hit. But so is that the only way, or are there other mechanisms to reduce the tax hit?
Yeah, are you?
I'm hoping that.
Go ahead.
Well, I was hoping that the no tax on Social Security would happen, but I don't know. If you know anything about that,
It's too early, to know what's going to happen there. It is certainly being debated. Are you planning to take out more than you would like to give charitably from this account?
I'm going to do all of my giving from that account.
Right.
Period. I mean, all of my my tithing and everything from that account. But I don't need more is the thing.
Okay, so if you basically just give through the qualified charitable distribution an amount equal to the required minimum each year, starting at age 73, then you won't ever pay any tax. Because when it goes straight to a charity, it does not get added to your taxable income, thereby allowing you to satisfy the required minimum and never pay tax on the money as it comes out.
Okay. Where can I find a chart where I could approximate what that RMD is in fact going to be? Is there a website or something where I could look that up?
Absolutely, yeah. It's just irs.gov. They publish that information there for you, and you could just go look up, what your balance is and what your age is, and it would give you the factor to use. It's called the IRS's Uniform Lifetime Table, and it would calculate your annual required minimum for you based on the information you would provide.
Okay, because I'd rather give it to my charitable causes than.
Well, and that's the beauty of the qualified charitable distribution, Betty, is that money went in tax deferred, but it can come out tax free. You don't get the deduction, but it's never added to your taxable income, so long as it goes straight from the IRA custodian to your church or other 501c3 ministry, and as long as that qualified charitable distribution each year is equal to or greater than your required minimum, well, you've satisfied your required minimum and you don't add $1 to your taxable income for the year.
Perfect. That's the way around it. I love it. That's perfect.
Okay. All right. Thanks for your call today. I love it. I love that you're a giver. We appreciate it. Thanks for calling. To Texas. Hi, Tim. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm 61 and I'm 8 years older than my wife. So my question is kind of twofold. So if I file, say I'm 66, my wife's 58, and I file for Social Security, and I decease, does her payment is it the same till she passes away? And then another thing, if I decease now, and say we never file, say I wanted to wait till 67, I deceased, and does that, when can she file? Can she file as if I was still alive? I would have been filing at 67, or does she now have to wait till she's eligible age, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so she can't draw survivor's benefits on your Social Security immediately unless she's caring for a child under 16 or who is disabled. She would need to wait until at least age 60 to begin receiving survivor's benefits, with the option to receive a reduced benefit then, or wait until her own full retirement age for the full amount of your full retirement age benefit.
Okay, so if I do file and we get a monthly income from Social Security, and then I'm deceased, that monthly income will continue at that point for her. Is that correct?
Well, she would then claim a survivor's benefit, and it would only continue at the same level if she's at full retirement age or older.
Okay, all right. Yeah, this is complicated. All right, well, I think that helps. I think your suggestion for Bill to get an appointment and get it all sorted out might be a good idea. I didn't know we could do that.
Yeah, absolutely you can, but I think the key is anytime she's taking it early, she's going to have a reduction, whether it's the spousal benefit or the survivor's benefit. But she has the ability to get 100% of your benefit if she waits until her full retirement age. So I think, that's the key idea that needs to go along with that. Tim, thanks for your call today. I hope that helps you. We appreciate it. Mark, let's come full circle to where we started today. We opened by talking about those folks that are feeling ill-prepared for retirement, and we talked about working longer. We talked about delaying Social Security. But there are some other financial advantages to working longer, too, and I'd love for you to kind of tie a bow on this today.
Yeah, so you've got multiple benefits like we were talking about earlier, Rob. One, you are, while you continue to work, you're able to add to your nest egg. Two, you're not drawing down your nest egg because you haven't retired yet, so you don't need to pull money out of the account. Your nest egg doesn't have to last as long. And then the big one is that Social Security benefit is ramping up at a rate of essentially 8% per year, plus that's going to be inflation adjusted down the road. So those are a few big ones. We actually touched on a couple others. There are a number of these benefits that all come together. So while it's emotionally perhaps not real appealing to continue working once you've kind of set your eye on a particular date or a particular age to retire, it really can be a very simple kind of emergency release valve if you're looking at your numbers and saying, we really have not saved quite enough. Just delaying that even by a short time can really move the needle.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, folks, if you want to dig into this a little bit deeper, this article is phenomenal. We'll give you a lot of great insights. Just head to soundmindinvesting.org. Just click on retirement preparedness. What a difference a little time can make. While you're there, you can check out the SMI newsletter and all the benefits of membership at Sound Mind Investing and the SMI private client group. Mark, always a joy to have you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by.
Always my pleasure, Rob.
All right, we'll talk
2時半頃ね、迎えに来るから、ゆっくりしてて、それでバフェに連れてくから、その後、All you can eat.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
90.5 KTXG, Greenville, Dallas.
State employee, you have the opportunity to support the American Family Association through the combined federal campaign by designating a monthly payroll deduction using 12037. You help AFA continue to fight for your family. So when you complete your CFC form, remember, AFA's number is 12037. And thank you for your help.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
Here for heavy news, I'm Rusty Pugh. President Donald Trump finished a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin as the administration continues efforts to end the war. The president blamed the Biden administration for the wars in Ukraine and Gaza.
Ukraine-Russia wouldn't have happened, but I'll tell you what else wouldn't have happened. October 7th would not have happened. This was a terrible thing also. A lot of bad things happened in the last 4 years.
The Supreme Court paused a federal judge's hold Monday and allowed the Trump administration to remove temporary protected status from some 350,000 Venezuelans in the U.S. Fox 2 San Francisco's Crystal Bailey reports.
Typically, challenging an existing executive order starts at the federal district court level, but the president went straight.
じゃあゆっくりしてて。
First, people will lose their job because TPS gives them work permits, and it's possible they will be separated from their children who were born here. In a statement, DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin called the SCOTUS decision a win for the American people.
U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy unveiled a plan last week to ask Congress for billions of dollars to modernize the aging U.S. air traffic control system to address airport congestion, flight delays, and safety. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on how the bill will help repair the air traffic control system.
The big beautiful bill also finally modernizes air traffic control in America, a bipartisan issue. The bill will allow President Trump to deliver on his promise to overhaul and update our air traffic control systems to keep Americans flying as safe and efficiently as possible. The previous administration failed to act and do this themselves, despite repeated warnings from the GAO, which has resulted in unacceptable delays at major airports like Newark that the Trump administration is working hard to address.
An Illinois school board meeting getting heated last night as parents expressed opposition to boys competing on girls' sports teams.
Look me in the eye and tell me it's okay for my athlete daughter to, and or her teammates to have zero chance to win. Zero chance.
You're basically saying to every single female student in this district, you will undress in front of boys if we tell you to. You will compete against boys if we tell you to. You will sacrifice your own rights if we want you to, and you will like it.
The meeting comes days after the Naperville School District allowed a boy to compete in and win a middle school girls' track meet. A public policy analyst believes Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley is misguided in opposing massive cuts to Medicaid. Chad Groening has more.
The Wall Street Journal has published a scathing editorial entitled, "Democrats Find an Ally in Josh Hawley." In it, author Alicia Finley called the lawmaker to task for an op-ed he wrote in the New York Times, criticizing Republicans who want to slash Medicaid, which happens to be a Trump administration priority. Jamison Taylor is Director of Policy and Legislative Affairs at the American Family Association.
Josh Hawley is in trouble with conservatives for coming out against the House's plan to cut Medicaid in order to continue the Trump tax cuts from 2017. Congress has to cut spending. There's only one place to cut, and that is Medicaid and Obamacare. Josh Hawley came out and said he doesn't want to cut Medicaid.
Taylor says the end result of what Josh Hawley wants is higher taxes to pay for free health insurance for people who are mostly not working.
And Josh Hawley came out and said that Medicaid is quote-unquote health insurance for the working poor. He is wrong about that. The data shows that 60% of able-bodied adults on Medicaid are not working at all. The left is freaking out over Medicaid work requirements. Josh Hawley, who's supposed to be a super conservative, seems to be freaking out over Medicaid work requirements. And what does that say? It says that Medicaid is not worth having.
I'm Chad Groening.
Another round of tornadoes has struck the central U.S. after 4 days of twisters, thunderstorms, and heavy rain killed more than 24 people. At least 4 tornadoes were confirmed in Oklahoma and Nebraska Monday night. More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
The political climate in America has changed. We've been given a reprieve, and we have to work together to take advantage of that momentum and effect even more cultural and spiritual change. We can rebuild America. The American Family Association is working to do just that, and when you join with your support, it helps maximize the impact. As our thanks, we'll give you a DVD of biblical financial advice from Rob West called Biblical Stewardship. Please visit afa.net and get started today.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildman, President of the American Family Association.
And welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network for this Tuesday, May the 20th, 2025. Thanks for listening to AFR. Joining me in studio is Wesley Wildman. Good morning, Wesley.
Good morning. Looking forward to the program today.
And I want to get back to your little trip here in just a minute. But Chris Woodward's in studio. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
And Ray Pritchard's in Kansas City. Good morning, Ray.
Hey, Tim. How you doing this morning?
It's a beautiful day right now here in Tupelo, and what about KC?
Man, the last 24 hours have been crazy.
Oh, really?
It's relatively quiet this morning.
Yeah.
We had some vast Noah's flood came through from Nebraska, Kansas. Wow, they really got hit down there in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So this morning, morning, it's all quiet, dripping. We're just dripping wet and all quiet.
Well, hey, Chris, you were showing us this morning that
the swath, if you will, for severe weather today. And I know people like in Missouri and Kentucky and Kansas and other parts there, Tennessee, maybe, they've just been getting pounded. Missouri. What about the weather for today?
Yeah, today there is a chance for strong tornadoes and heavy winds in Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, even South Carolina.
Just name the states that aren't.
Hawaii.
No tornadoes in Hawaii today. Only volcano eruptions and tsunamis.
Yeah. A lot of people in pretty much the Tennessee Valley area and then in the surrounding states that never those are getting probably some big storms today. So do keep checking your local broadcasters.
Okay, Wesley, you and your youth baseball team traveled to, y'all did something special. You went to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, right?
We sure did, and while we were up there, we were on the mountaintops playing baseball, and it was heaven on earth, and we didn't experience any of the weather that y'all are describing. So I didn't expect. I came back to Tupelo expecting it to be the same as it was there, and apparently it's not. But we went up there, went to the Ripken Experience. Cal Ripken is the owner, he and his brother, and they run a baseball tournament there, along with a couple other places across the country. And that one was everything you can expect. We were on like I said, we were on a mountaintop play, and you from every angle that you could look, 360 degrees.
Smoky Mountains.
Through Smoky Mountains. Yep.
Yeah, that's a beautiful part of the country.
In the clouds playing baseball.
Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. It's a great place for a family trip. Ray, you've been there, right?
I have, and it is one of the most gorgeous. Well, folks, let's just say it this way: you can listen to us, or you can go.
Right.
That's right.
Go and see for yourself. So, Wesley, how'd your team do up there? And were you playing from all over the southeast, or?
Yeah, where were the teams from?
Yes, sir. So we, I'll answer Dad's question first. The teams were from all over the country. There was 12 teams that they were allowed to play in it. That was the max number of teams for our age group. So 12 9-year-old teams from 6 different states. You had South Carolina, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, and I knew there's a couple.
Pennsylvania? There was a team from Pennsylvania?
Yeah,
Wow.
a team from Pennsylvania. So it was a very good tournament, a lot of competition. We ended up...
Did you get to meet Cal Ripken?
No, we didn't. So what we did was a weekend tournament, but what they're known for is their week-long summer tournaments.
Okay.
Where it's 7 days. And in those tournaments...
I'll go if you can meet.
Meet Cal
Ripken.
From
here, I'll go. Iron Man.
From June 1st to August 1st, he's at every one of them.
Seriously?
No, he comes and goes, but
I know.
He's at the.
But Cal Ripken Jr., right, Ray?
Right.
He holds the all-time record for consecutive games played.
Yep, that's right.
And was a star in the 70s and 80s. I think 70s. I know 80s. And 90s, 80s and 90s, Cal Ripken Jr. You can look him up, Baltimore Orioles. But so that he runs that tournament. Okay.
Yep. And so it was a great experience. We finished 3-1, and we made the final 4 out of 12 teams.
All right.
Nice way to go, Wesley.
Yeah.
The whole team played good.
If you're going to travel all the way to Pigeon Forge, which is 7 hours from Tupelo,
right, 7.
You don't want to go 0-3.
That's right.
That's a long ride home.
No, you don't want to do that.
So what's the name of your team?
My team, the team that I coach is the Tupelo Rangers. They're a 9-year-old group. I've been with this same team since they were 6 years old.
Yeah.
So I've had the joy of watching them grow individually and as a team, and it's a wonderful thing. And I raise my hand to coach to make sure that we're keeping small families, our families with small children, keep the family atmosphere, the Christian principles in what we're doing, and laying a good foundation for them beyond baseball. Is one of the main reasons I raised my hand to coach. And so we're doing the best we can, and we're being a good example as a team and as a coaching staff and as parents to other teams around us, because many of us have heard the horror stories of travel baseball, and that's not what we're about. So
So that other day when you got in the umpire space,
I got thrown out.
Was that a Peter or Paul?
Paul, yeah, that's right.
That's right. Model your life.
No, I haven't.
I'm just kidding.
I know. I hadn't had a chance to get thrown at yet. I hadn't got there in all the years that I've coached. But there's got to be, like it says in the Old Testament, there's got to be a time and place for everything. Yeah. But I hadn't got there yet.
Paul did set Peter straight at least one time. It's in Scripture.
Oh, thou shalt not get thrown out of a baseball game?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit about my experience and let our audience know that we do things and hang out with our family and experience life outside of the radio, but at the same time, we got news to get to, right?
Yep, we got some news to get to, news of the day. By the way, Bruce Rather, a retired FBI agent and husband of Sandy Rios, will be on with us at the top of the next hour, or at 11:05 Central Time. He's going to talk about the FBI as it's changing under the Trump administration for the better. And also he's going to talk about James Comey, the former FBI director, and the controversy he's been involved in the last few days. So that's coming up at the top of the next hour. All right, Chris, what's your first story?
Well, I want to point people to our website, afn.net, where this morning our news director, Fred Jackson, posted breaking news out of New Orleans, where authorities are still looking for some...
breakout news or breaking news?
Breaking news out of New Orleans, where authorities are still looking for some of the 10 people that escaped from a jail or prison last week. The update here today, authorities have arrested a 33-year-old Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office maintenance worker in connection with the escape of the 10 jail inmates.
A maintenance worker?
A maintenance worker, yes.
What did he do?
Authorities say Sterling Williams admitted to law enforcement that one of the escapees, quote, advised him to turn the water off in the cell before the men slipped away through a hole behind a toilet. That's according to the Attorney General's office today, which adds that instead of reporting the inmate, Sterling Williams turned the water off as directed, allowing the inmates to escape and carry out their plan to a success.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, say that again.
Yeah.
The maintenance worker did what now?
He turned the water off in the cell where these people were after one of them asked him to turn the water off. And instead of reporting him, which is procedure, he did as they asked him to, and they were able to take advantage of that.
He sounds like to me he's an accomplice.
If he's not, he found a really bad
jailbreak.
Be charged with 10 counts of principal to simple escape and malfeasance.
Okay, and so
I've got other questions.
Did they? I mean, this sounds a little bit like Shawshank Redemption.
A little bit.
I mean, did they crawl out through the sewer line or something?
It's something similar to that, yes, sir. Now, the difference between some of these inmates and Shawshank Redemption is that at least one of them was being held for murder and attempted murder, whereas Shawshank Redemption story is a little different.
Keystone Cops type deal here. By that I mean this makes the prison, the jail keepers look ridiculous down there, that these folks were able to, and so it sounds like to me you say, hey, Bill, you mind turning off the water for a few minutes?
Yes.
Oh, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm
right.
So either you're doing that, you're a bozo.
Yeah.
Okay, excuse me, but you are a bozo, or you are in on it.
It's like asking a guard, hey, can I borrow your keys just for a couple of minutes?
That's right.
Yeah.
This
So
was
anyway,
literally
so I mean, listen, in all seriousness, these are 10 hardened criminals.
Oh, yeah.
They were in it's a county jail, right? Now, they escaped, and I saw the video of them leaving out the back dock of the prison. It's just stunning to me that they could get away like that. So they caught how many of them?
6 of the 10 are still on the loose, so they've caught 4.
Okay, that was going to be my next question is, anytime you read this, you go, you know you're not going to get away with this. You're talking about the guys, the inmates that escaped. So 4 out of 10?
4 out of 10. And it does appear to be a well-thought, well-planned escape. And I say that because at least one of the sill bars protecting plumbing fixtures appeared to have been intentionally cut using a tool.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the inmates quickly shed their uniforms and changed into regular clothes that someone had left for them.
Yeah, and the press secretary for the sheriff's department down there, you know, they held their press conference, and I mentioned yesterday, it was hilarious. I mean, it really was. She came out with her Mardi Gras glasses on. You think I'm kidding? Look it up.
I've seen her before in some of the other things.
I'm not kidding. She came out with her Mardi Gras glasses on, and was doing a press conference, and you're just going like, is she serious?
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, well, we'll see what happens there. Next story.
Well, Representative LaMonica McIver, she's a Democrat representative, and she has been charged. She was among those group of Democrats that stormed or raided that ICE facility up in New Jersey where they say people are being held.
It was an insurrection.
It wasn't. Well, by definition, one could make that argument, yes.
I didn't see the
now,
story.
For those who didn't hear about this, just review real quickly what we're talking about here.
Okay, so Representative LaMonica McIver, a Democrat from New Jersey, was among a group of Democrats that stormed or raided or entered without permission an ICE facility in New Jersey. And LaMonica...
For what purpose?
To try to get to people that they say are being held against their will. They're being violated due process. These are illegal immigrants that the federal government is trying to apprehend and deport. Okay. So the update with this story is Representative LaMonica McIver, a Democrat of New Jersey, has been charged with assaulting and beating law enforcement. And I have audio from Border Czar Tom Homan himself responding to these charges. Let's go with clip 2.
National prostitution. You cannot support ICE. No shame on you. You can't even push back against President Trump's immigration agenda. Whatever, you can protest. But you cannot cross the line. You can't a law enforcement officer, ICE officer, which is what they call it. You can't knowingly conceal or harbor you do what it is. You cannot, criminal trespass like this. You can't put hands on an ICE agent. So, she don't have to pay the consequences for doing what she did. She broke the law.
Punching law enforcement officers, which you cannot do.
I did see the video of this. Now that I know that we're talking about it, I saw the video of this, and it's everything that Tom Hogan just described, and you're watching it. Makes it that much worse when this is a public official doing it, because they have a form of persuasion, obviously, not to get a Republican area, and she's sitting there forcing her way through.
Okay, Ray, this has happened now the several times. Of illegal criminals here, criminals who the ICE is after to arrest and deport, and these Democrats step in physically to help the criminals from being prosecuted, caught, or deported. We have the judges, the state judge in Wisconsin who helped the illegal alien step out the back door.
Democrat U.S. representative, her name is LaMonica McIver.
Goes in to physically get into an altercation with ICE agents, right?
That's right.
Well, number one, this goes back to the point we've made here dozens, hundreds of times. Elections matter. Elections have consequences. That when you have a regime like the Biden-Harris